Hello, and welcome to the About Healing podcast, a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys, and who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I am your host, About Healing medium and certified spiritual healer, Sheree Buckman. It is my purpose to guide others to the path of self-healing and to inspire those on their spiritual journeys in finding their truths. Join me as I share my experience and unfiltered perspective in healing, as well as the incredible wisdom of the loving energy that guides us. Let's begin. Well, hello, amazing souls, and welcome back to another truly magical, amazing episode of About Healing podcast. I have so much to talk about, and I am so excited for this week's topic. But of course, before we go into it, I want to say hello to Copper, as I always do, because everybody knows this is my flow, and she's muting herself and not coming on this time because I defied her the last time, and she's like, not going to happen.
I muted myself because my children are being very vocal this morning, and I didn't think anyone wanted to hear that.
And here we go. See, I draw her out. This is my fishing expedition every episode now.
I got to stand up for myself.
Yeah, good for you, girl. Coming soon in a very soon episode.
An upcoming episode?
That was better. Thank you. Upcoming episode as we go into throat chakra. So good job, Copper. Strong throat chakra. Okay, as I wheel myself back in, because Copper and I can go about our banter for who knows, like hours truly. So we're going to reel ourselves in. Because I have more amazing announcements, because I really wanted to share this because everybody who's listening, you have all been a part of this journey, watching the growth within About Healing podcast. And let's be honest here, my own personal growth too, because I share so much about what I'm going through and how we are getting past these really difficult pieces. So guess what, everybody? About Healing LLC has grown to a point where I needed more help. So now not only do we have Copper, who has been my producer on the podcast, she is now a part in helping me run About Healing LLC. Yeah, she's crazy, and she's going in this with me, and I love her so much because that means she has faith in me too. I love you. But I also want to introduce someone that you might see in the background to see her name being popped up. I have a new addition, which is Miss Rachel Scroggins. Yay! I need the applause in the background. Yay, Rachel. She is a new dear and friend of mine who we were divinely led in meeting, who came to this point where she has been so excited and supporting everything that I do. And she's very local to me, so she is helping me in all ways behind the scenes of LLC. But most importantly, this beautiful About Healing team of mine, the three of us, we are rolling into something even bigger. They are assisting me in helping me make my dreams come true. You've heard me probably mention this already before, but next year I am creating and having the very first annual, this is going to be first annual, About Healing retreat. This is going to take place April 20th of 2024 at the JW Marriott Hotel in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So for those of you who are all over the country and want to come, let me tell you, April's pretty brisk still out here. So if you want to come and brave some of that cold weather and come and join us for this magical event. I call it magical because for me it is. But really, About Healing retreat is something that I have meditated on, I have been guided to do, that I have truly dreamt on. Like I've had dreams, vivid dreams of this. And it is about, it's like a conference retreat, a whole day event where we are having guest speakers coming in and talking about healing or talking about just getting into this amazing place. But this is for light workers. This is about all of you out there, because if you're listening, you're a light worker. I'm telling you right now, whether you know it or not, because you're in a place who are wanting to make a difference in this world. And whether it is a conscious or not, you're someone who gives love easily, who feels so much. You are sensitive, which means, again, you are here to make a difference. You're here to show people how to be sensitive, how to share love. How do we get out of our own way? How do we heal others? These are for these big hearts and those. This event is about drawing together all of these light workers so we can all plug in together to revitalize and reamp and make our lights even brighter. This is a self-healing, whole wellness event where we are spending the day listening to, again, these amazing speakers. We have gourmet food, which is all included in the base ticket. And we're going to have a big wellness break where we have a VIP package that you guys, all of this is coming out very soon on the website, where you can get the VIP package, you can do spa services, you can go take your walk. If you're staying at the JW, go take a bath. They have amazing bathtubs in each of the rooms. And then we come together for this amazing dinner. Keynote speaker, 3-course dinner, and networking event. Let's help each other. Let's build this community, and let's keep going and shining our light. So it's dreams. Help me make my dream come true. So what a great opening in getting us into the topic that I had planned to discuss for today, because, this retreat and my purposeful work and having these incredible women by my side and as part of my team for this has all been a part of my goals and dreams. And this is another topic that was not on my agenda for this season. However, it is a reminder, or really a lesson my guides brought to my attention as I have been working towards my own goals and dreams. And of course, what I have learned thus far in this work that I'm doing within the podcast and sharing and teaching these really hard and healing lessons is that whatever I am going through and my experiences, others are too, which is why I am guided to share these with you all, and including what I have learned, but also what Spirit has shared with me and wanting to continue these lessons and spreading the word. So today I want to share with you about the differences between goals and dreams, about the challenges and blocks we experience and how we move past them, because there is a difference between a goal and a dream. And while I am sure there are, big definitions out there, I didn't go on and I didn't look. This is my understanding and what I had been guided to share with you in regards to these. So let's start with goals in general. Okay. So a goal is a determined decision to create or manifest something that you work towards to achieve, right? So usually a goal is more of a human or ego-based want. And let me be clear here. This is not a bad thing. We're allowed to want. We're allowed to feel comfortable and to want to be successful or manifest beautiful things, because we are divine creators made of light that are able to manifest every thought into tangible form. Seriously, because outside this human experience, that is how we communicate. We do not speak. We do not have mouths or ears or vocal cords. That is a human body. That is why this is part of the incarnation process here, right? So we are made of a vibration that creates with a simple thought, an emotion, a knowing, and trust, which, by the way, brings into manifestation, which is coming very soon this season. When we're talking about a goal, I want to break this down and understanding how do we plan for our goals, right? So let's do the hows to achieve, like a task list, because everybody knows I love my lists. I got lists everywhere. Bring it to a list. It's easier to understand, and I like to cross out things. And so if you're anyone like that, but this is also a way to kind of put your ideas and put those goals and start to understand it, because you can see it. It starts to look and become tangible because you're putting it all and organizing it together. So guess what? I'm going to break this down for you too, but it is really as easy as listing it as the who, what, when, where, why, how. That's the type of list we're going to do. And so I want to give you an example so that you understand how to do this for your own goals. I chose the goal of losing weight. I think this is a common one that most of us understand or have had that goal or have that goal, right? So let's break this down, and I want to start with the win. Okay. So the when is your timeline. So if you were to break this down, so let's start with, and you need to break it down. Let's start with the long-term goal. So our long-term goal. So in this as the example, I'm like, okay, so let's say I want to lose 20 pounds within the next 6 months. Within 6 months, that is my long-term goal. Okay, so let's break it down to a middle step. This is your mid-length goal. In order to do that, what is going to be let's say we want to go healthy here, a healthy, tangible, realistic way to get to that. So I'm saying let's lose 3.5 pounds a month. That's more of a realistic and healthy goal, right? Okay, so now we need to go into what can we do right now? This is the now, the current, the present. What can we do to begin this? In this one, it's about maybe creating a schedule to commit to. And it needs to be easy and it needs to be not completely life-changing. So when you do things that are too big and too life-changing all at once, you're setting yourself up. You need to do it in small steps. This is the way to maintain any of these goals, anything. Because if you have a big goal, whether it's going back to school or I want to find my dream job, we'll get into dreams here in a minute, but it's still a goal. I want to find that big career, right? There's still steps you have to do to get there. You can't go from A to Z in one step. We're breaking it down. What is step one? You have to start with the simple and the basic. Okay. And then we're going to go into the what. This is your to do. What are you going to do? What do you need to do to achieve this goal? This also includes, if you do not know, it is time to research and look it up, whatever that goal may be. So bringing it to our example of losing weight. So here it would be making that to-do list of, okay, well, I need to start by eating healthier and exercising because we know our energy output has to be greater than our calorie intake, right? Because we did the research, we understand this now. So this is where we're going to start. Now it is going into the how. This is what's needed. How are you going to make it to your goal? Okay, the how. So this is really about the consistency or creating a schedule. And you would do that again in this example too. It's like finding support or accountability, right? So I would maybe start a food journal. That is my accountability of what I'm eating. And I would want to have my friends or finding people to support me on this journey. These are my goals. I need a cheer system. I need someone checking in on me. So reasonable hows within this goal. Then you have the where. These are the twos, I put it there, the twos and the don'ts, right? So this is about the places, really. Where do you go? The places you go to reach your goal. So, again, depending on what your goal is, if you're going back to school, okay, you're going to need a school. Is it going to be virtually? Is it going to be in person? These are the type of things that you need to look at and plan for in doing so. So again, in this example of losing weight, it is, am I going to go to a gym or am I going to do a workout system at home? And then I also mentioned the don'ts, right? Because as we start making these plans, because depending on what your goal is, if you wanted to eat better and again, the losing weight, I also want to limit the amount of eating out. So it's not doing fast food or limiting where I'm going or the situations that would cause me to go backwards, essentially. I know I'm not strong enough to say no to dessert when I go to grandma's house. I'm not saying you don't need to go to grandma's house, but it's having that conversation. Hey, I need to limit this. And I know I'm always going to say yes, whatever it may be, having these discussions. It's about the wheres. Then we're going to talk about the who, okay? We're going to list the who. This is about those involved to get to your goal. We need to list them out. So who's needed to achieve a goal? Who do we need to get to? Who do we need to get to another step in it? So this is where we're going to do here. So again, this is your support, and this also goes back to the how. We talked about that support system, right? So this is both. So in the example goal of losing weight, you might want a nutritionist, maybe teaching you what kind of foods or what works best for you. Talking about a personal trainer, I want to learn how to exercise. I don't know. Again, those friends, those family, who do you need to get you to your goal? And then lastly, you have the why. This right here is about the reasons for your goal. And this is the most important to understand as you set your intentions of your goal or even getting to your goal. Because understanding the deep roots of your goal of why you're wanting it connects you with the emotion to keep you going. So what's behind the goal? And you need to keep digging until you get to that root. because usually it's more than just, well, I want to lose weight because I want to look better, right? There's more to it there, because this is going to be rooted back into self-esteem. This is going to be rooted into physical health, maybe because it is causing more physical ailments, or maybe we're feeling a lot of guilt and shame that we allowed ourselves to get to a certain point. These are deeper than the surface meaning. Getting into those deeper rooted pieces are going to get you and keep you at that emotional level that is going to get you to the finish line of getting to your goal. So for this example, I mean, are you wanting to lose weight for health overall, just to be stronger because, you keep hurting yourself when you try to lift up your dog? Maybe you have a really big dog you like to pick up and it hurts you. And now we need to build our strength, our back strength, and whatever that is, or to feel better energetically, because eating right and exercising is also a way that builds our energy, right? It's a natural way. Or do we want to just match our outside with how we feel inside? These are real things, and we need to be extremely honest with ourselves about it. Doesn't mean you have to go and share these, but it is about digging in and writing these pieces out. Why is it? Remind yourself, or maybe even for the first time, find out why. Why is it? But I want you to make it positive. Don't sit in the shame and the neglect and look at yourself, especially when we're talking about like losing weight. We can get really lost in looking at ourselves in a mirror and saying, ugh, and cannot standing what you see. Instead, we need to make it positive, and that's how we keep the goal. It's saying, you know what? You are amazing and you've got this. It is positive self-talk. It's going to get you there. So let's transition for a moment into our dreams. What is the difference, right? We have our goals and then we have dreams. Dreams are bigger and full of emotion. This is tied to a soul's yearning. Okay. This is kind of like that soul mission, or the yearning inside of wanting to evolve. And sometimes, and it's truly even often believed, that our dreams, whatever they may be, are impossible or very difficult to achieve. So maybe as a child, you dreamed of becoming a princess or the president, right? Or you wanted to heal animals, or you wanted to sail around the world. Well, then usually in childhood, and not all the time, but sometimes, right, we're told that these are not real jobs. And then we grow up. So then we leave some of these dreams behind, and then we try to be more, what is that, quote unquote, realistic? I do air quotes with that realistic thing right here, because that's a safety word and a safety zone that doesn't exist. That is a self-limiting phrase, realistic. That's putting yourself in a safety box, comfort zone. So as we get older, our dreams become more about changing the world, wanting to bring more peace, wanting to heal others, wanting to do something so badly, but it doesn't make sense. What, financially, or maybe it's not socially accepted, or because no one else is doing it, or what makes me so special to be the one to do it. These are often the things that come up when we're talking about our dreams, especially as adults. As an example, it could be like quitting your job. You hate your job. You want to quit it so badly, and you want to go do something. It seems radical, but it's really not radical. You want to go write books. You want to go start and do podcasts. You want to go and...
Why do you have to attack me so early in the morning?
That wasn't on my list, but I saw your reaction. I'm like, yep, I am talking to you like starting podcasts. Get out of your way. So keep listening. And I want to tell you how we get past our blocks here in a minute. So before we get to understanding the blocks, I do want to keep going in here into some of the other types of dreams, because the root of some dreams usually are about becoming a type of person, whether it is to be a brave person, because we dreamed of being a knight, right? We dreamed knight, and we're going to go save people, and they're brave, and they do those just very courageous things and putting themselves in danger and coming out okay. And then they get the princess or the maiden, or it's about being strong enough to stand up for what you believe in, or to be inspiring because, again, you are putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, or to be successful, of getting out of your own way and allowing yourself to do that, and et cetera, and et cetera. And as an example, as we go back, and I gave you the night thing, but let's go into the other, probably one of the dreams we had being a kid was maybe you wanted to be a princess. Maybe you dreamed of being a princess and meeting and being rescued by, Prince Charming. This is an example. If we're looking and going digging a little bit deeper into this dream, this is an example of becoming a type of person. It is about wanting to feel appreciated, respected, wanted, adored, and quite possibly wanting to live in a castle. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't want to live in a castle? I mean, it really sounds cold to me, but I mean, why not? It's beautiful. It's enchanting. This is a real dream. And so I wanted to make this my example in understanding how do we achieve our great dreams. So let's break it down to make it achievable. This is, in this particular one of wanting to be a princess and meeting Prince Charming and becoming a type of person, right? This is more of an internal change to create this dream. This is, creating dreams often begin with an internal restructure of thought. We have to go in and retrain our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions towards ourselves. This is where we begin to achieve dreams. We have to go in and begin questioning why we believe a dream to be impossible or difficult, because it's usually the initial part. Dreams, that's impossible. That can't be done. Well, there are many things that said that they could never be done, and here we are doing them. Again, going into, come on, look at this. I'm on a podcast and people can hear. I'm on a computer where I can see people in live time. This was impossible not that long ago. We're talking about the creation of light bulbs, Let's go into all of those. Those were all impossible. But someone believed it and they kept working on it and they kept trying to do it and it became possible. It's about shifting those false beliefs, going into the root belief of why we feel we don't deserve to be treated as such, right? So in this example, right, of wanting to feel appreciated and respected and adored, right? This is going back into maybe related to childhood trauma or the common beliefs of who raised you, or maybe you were bullied or you were teased and you took on these beliefs of others. Take a moment when you do that, and I want you to look at your dream as if it's somebody else's. This is somebody else's dream. Because let me tell you, it is so much easier to look at somebody else and give advice on how to get something or get out of something, right? When we're in it for ourselves, it's too much. We don't understand it, right? Because we're in the middle of it. That's all the energy that surrounds us. You can zoom out and see it in a different perspective, in the larger perspective. So when we're going in further and breaking down this example of wanting to be that princess and meet the Prince Charming and to live this beautiful enchanted life of being loved and adored and all of the things, it is important to understand here that what you project is what you get in return. If you want to be treated like a princess or a queen or a prince or a king, you first have to treat yourself as such. How can someone respect you and treat you that way if you don't believe it for yourself? And it's getting to a place of not allowing others to dim your light and getting to a place of having balanced your boundaries, knowing what you want and worthy of it, and walking away from what doesn't make you feel appreciated and respected, wanted, and adored. And for anyone who you were not brought up with this way of thinking, that's a lot to change. And that's why dreams seem impossible, because this is not an overnight change. This is, again, reprogramming your thought system, your belief system about yourself. This is going in. This is about healing. Sometimes getting to your dreams is doing the inner work. That's how we get there. Because not only is it difficult because it may require this deep healing, but it also can be a really long and difficult road to achieve some of these dreams. Like if you dream to heal animals and now you want to be a veterinarian, well, that includes med school. That's a lot to go through, and that's a long plan to get to that place. Or maybe it is about doing something that shocks everyone because it's never been done before, or it's not of the norm, right? Not of the norm in that safety box that everybody expects, the society norms. Or maybe it is seen as taboo. It's got bad juju. I know what that's like because I get that reaction a lot. And sometimes I have to take a minute when I tell people what I do, because I always start with the opening. So I'm a medium and certified spiritual healer, and I wait for the shock factor. Because I'll get the really big eyes all of a sudden, and people, that's them processing, but they're also processing what they know about it. And so it takes a minute. And then when I explain more about what I do is that I specialize in trauma healing. I have a background in social services. What I do is about love and growing and getting people out of their own way to pursue their dreams and to find their purpose and to heal from grief. It changes everything, because that's why it's important to also know why you're doing it too, is to change the taboo, right? But no matter the case, I have never heard of anyone who has ever regretted going for their dreams, whether they reached it or not. Success or failure, it didn't matter. Because that journey alone is soul evolving. It's like getting an A+ on a test you didn't finish, only to find out the real test was just learning how to get out of your own way. That's really big. So therefore, you never fail. So let's go in a little bit further about some of these challenges and blocks that get in the way of really getting to our goals and to our dreams. And I've talked about a few of them within these examples, but let's get into these bigger pieces of it, because there's more. Because the first challenge that seems common, actually that really is common, is about knowing what you want. I have had so many conversations where I'm helping people get out of their own way, but they're like, but I don't know what I want. I don't know what my goals or my dreams are. First of all, and it's the first thing I always tell everybody, that's okay. Because some people beat themselves up because they have no idea what it is. I don't know. Maybe I should. What's wrong with me that I don't have them? It's okay. It is okay if you do not have any big goals or dreams planned, whether it's right now or ever, honestly, as long as you're happy. But sometimes it's due to a lack of self-esteem or worthiness. Start with your small and simple ones and allow yourself space to find new ones as they come. They don't have to be huge. Another reason is maybe you haven't allowed yourself to recognize these goals or dreams because they were too big or out there, right? They were too out there. Or maybe you were made to believe that they were imaginary or not real, which then brought in feeling shame. And so you brush them aside. This is usually due to childhood trauma, right? Or simply really brought up into that rational matter where imagination is not encouraged. So it doesn't mean that you were in an abusive childhood. It could just be that, you were brought up in a household where that imagination stuff, we don't really go there. However, I am giving you that permission now. I'm giving you permission to use your imagination, to dream big dreams, to set these large goals. The universe gives you permission. Your departed loved ones give you permission, even if they didn't believe or support that in life. Remember, they are now without ego. Your imagination is part of your creativity. It is your soul and the divine speaking through you. So let's talk about those challenges when you do know what you want. Maybe you do know what you want. You know exactly what it is. But now let's go into those other common challenges that come with that. Because maybe you have the fear of success. You're so afraid of actually getting what you want. And that's also tied to a lot of these other challenges, which is about change. Because if I do succeed or I get what I want, it changes everything. And remember, as human beings, we're hardwired to fear change. Change is scary because we don't know what to expect. It's part of that unknown. And sometimes we feel safer in our little comfort zones, in our boxes, right? So we don't want to go outside of that. Or we don't feel worthy. It's that worthiness factor. We don't feel worthy of actually getting what we want. It is so big. It's so out there. And from our past or maybe choices we have gone through, or maybe we've been told we weren't worthy, or who am I to want that, right? Those are big factors. And then it's the then what? Well, if I get it, then what? Then I've achieved my dream and then I have nothing else to work for. That is never, ever true. Because as we're on our journey, right? Things change. Because all of these pieces I just described right here were all a part of my story. This is a part of my journey, a part of my healing. a big part for me was not fully understanding my dreams. So when I was younger, I knew, and I said I always wanted to help children. When I was asked, what do you want to do or be when you grow up, is I wanted to help children. I wanted to be a child psychologist. That's what I wanted to do because I was a child of trauma. I was a child of instability. I wanted to help other children. And it was my goal. I wanted to get my PhD in psychology and to build a practice. But my journey brought me in a whole different route. Obviously, right? Here I am. But what happened was that my dream grew as I did in a way that seems completely impossible. I did get a degree and I worked for Child Protective Services. I worked for private, adoption agencies and then some. But then life happened and the universe and my higher self, my soul side, had other plans. I awakened into this different phase of my life and understanding what the bigger purpose was. I am to help change the vibrational frequency of this plane. That's big, right? I went through it. So to think that I didn't go through that worthiness, I had a whole episode about it just doing this podcast alone. So if it took me a minute to find my worthiness and who am I to sit here and talk on a podcast, think about what I went through and still going through in the point of that I'm here to change a vibrational frequency of this plane. That means this planet, like of people. The thing is that I'm not doing this alone either. I'm doing this with the help of all of you. Because if you're listening, you're a light worker. All the light workers here on earth, we are here to work together. We are drawn together for this reason, right? Which is why I'm creating the retreat. It is to bring us all together, to keep doing this, to be able to begin that journey, to get to this place I am now, to get to a place where I feel confident enough to create a giant conference or retreat, right, for other beautiful souls out there. I had to dive deep into my own self-healing because this is where true inspired healing comes from. It's from doing the work yourself. Your healing, your goals, and dreams hold extremely powerful frequencies that are shared as a collective. You are creating ripple effects completely unconsciously. It happens within it. You're creating these ripple effects of higher vibrations, showing those around you how to love and treat yourself, which manifests in receiving that same frequency. Remember, what you put out, you get in return. And so you are helping those all around you do the same, which then creates easier living and peace all around. We are breaking these generational lines. We are creating these new ways. We are getting out of the 3D and the 4D and entering the 5D. We are these divine beings who are learning now, for us awakening, learning to get out of the density and turn on our light and start dealing with the higher frequencies. It is a choice and it is a practice, and you have to keep choosing it, rather than going back into the shell and staying into that dense part. Just recognize that the biggest block, the biggest challenge is yourself. That's it. That is the key. And that is why all of these pieces that I'm bringing forward to you are about going inside and doing the self-healing to create these goals, to create these dreams. We have these self-imposed limits, those thoughts like, I can't do that. What makes me so special? I can't do this because of this. These are self-imposed because maybe you are believing the limits that others have imposed on you. But people can't put limits on you unless you've accepted them. That is a choice. It's those thoughts where whatever your dream may be, you're thinking, oh, this is ridiculous. People will think that I'm nuts, right? Or maybe even telling you that you're selfish. But how is a dream selfish? It is not in any way, shape, or form, because the more you go for it, like I said, it creates ripple effects. I don't care if your dream was to have $1 million. It has ripple effects because you're showing other people how to get out of their own way to achieve the same thing. So to move past these blocks is the biggest piece, is believing in yourself, retraining and reprogramming into believing in You invest in you, believe in yourself, trust yourself. The only difference between you and those who have obtained what you want is that they just went for it and they never stopped. They never stopped at a closed door, at all the no's they received for the request or what they were looking for. The negativity or no one supporting them or telling them that they were crazy or that you're wasting your time. All the difficulties and the stumbles, they got back up and just kept going. Seriously, that's the difference. It's going in and let's go in and do more positive self-talk. Let's realign those thoughts of being kind to ourselves. Being kind to ourselves. I end every episode with this phrase. It sounds so easy and simple, and maybe you don't even hear it anymore because I say it. But I want you to really break down those words. Be kind to yourself. It is the most healing act you are going to do. And it changes everything. It changes your relationships. It changes the vibrational frequency in which you are putting out and what you are creating and manifesting for yourself. Have trust and faith. Start with now and take it all step by step. Do not worry what the future holds because the future is a journey. So what if you make a wrong choice? We have so much fear in making a wrong choice. Oh my gosh, it's going to be devastating. What if I lose this money? What if I, go here and I waste this time? So what? You will make more. You will get back up and you're going to make a new choice. No matter where you have been and where you are now. Today, right now, in this moment, in this exact moment, is the only time you can begin creating what you want, your dreams and your goals. You can have more than one. I want you to have many. Have many. You don't even know where to start, but know that you are worthy of anything and everything you seek. If you can think it or dream it, it absolutely can be yours. You are just as talented, courageous, deserving, and exceptional as those who have reached for the stars and obtained them. You are the only one in the way of getting there. You will know when it's time for you to step up and begin creating and obtaining your dreams and goals. Allow yourself to dream it. Be brave enough to reach for it and worthy enough to have it. You will inspire, fellow light worker, because you're meant to. Because it was your plan all along. And I am here to support that and telling you that I'm doing the work too. And so you can do it also. We got this. So until next time, or until this fabulous About Healing retreat when I get to see you in person, be kind to yourself. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at abouthealingmedium.com. You can also follow About Healing Medium on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find the episode's healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask a question or to share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to reach me on Facebook and Instagram at About Healing Medium. Until next time, be kind to yourself.